Good. So let's see, at 7:03, I'll call to order the March meeting of the Dryden Rail Trail Task Force at 7:04. First, as we were checking the quorum, I was telling a few folks that are here in the conference room that yesterday I received a note from Tony Brusher saying that he's traveling again and won't be able to make our meeting. And he is realizing that because he travels so much, he hasn't been able to contribute, in his view, as much as he'd like to the Rail Trail Task Force. So he wrote me to say that he's relinquishing his spot on the task force. So I wrote a thank you note telling him that we super appreciate his presence and the work that he did helping us map and working with him on all the public events of tabling. And so that's the second thank you note that we have.
Crazy. He's done enough work that, I mean, he should have a buy for 3 years, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. He could just come and zoom in. But he also mentioned in his note to me that there's another organization that he's begun doing volunteer work for that's taking more of his time, and maybe it's something that he can do remotely when he's traveling. I'm not so sure. He didn't go into detail, but we'll be sad to lose him from our task force. So with that, we do have a quorum, and let's get to our agenda. We don't have any guests to introduce tonight, so let's go ahead and approve or consider approving the February minutes. Are there any corrections or edits that people would like us to make?
Did Tony send anything in?
Tony?
Oh, Tony.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the February minutes as written?
I'll move.
Diane moves in a second. Chris seconds. Thank you. All in favor of approving those minutes? Raise your hand. Looks like it's unanimous. Thanks again to Rose.
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, without you here, I did so much
The
talking.
meeting went fast.
I know, fast, but I did so much talking that I had a coughing fit in the middle. So
Oh no.
don't anybody tune into the YouTube of that because it was not pretty.
Hello.
Okay, let's see. So let's welcome Sue. Thank you. Let's start with Project Management Committee, which for folks that I just want to clarify that we used to have a separate finance committee and a different and a grants committee, and a while back we kind of folded them into the Project Management Committee. So when you see a report from Project Management, it's both about grants and about budgeting kind of stuff. So the first item is Route 13 bridge construction. I'm going to turn this right over to Todd.
Well, it was a momentous day last Friday. We had about 15 of us get together, and Urban Anthony led off the kickoff meeting for the Route 13 bridge. And we had Ray was there, Alice, myself, and Dan representing the town. We had Julie Baldwin and Chris Giac from DOT, or not Chris, it was Eric Hathaway from DOT. And then we had a number of the folks that are successful bidders from HURD and some of their other subcontractors all in a meeting and had a 5-page agenda of all the things that needed to happen to get the project going. And the end of the meeting culminated with that they were approved to move ahead with construction. So the between now and October 31, they're supposed to have the bridge completed in principle. And by December 31, all the paperwork and everything to kind of finalize that all the proper payments are done and DOT's satisfied with all the requirements, and everything can be kind of checked off. The list is supposed to be done by December 31. A couple things relative to task force members that might be curious to keep an eye on what's going on. The contractors are required to keep the area secure, and visitors have to be approved, excuse me, have to be approved to enter the work site. And that can be done at their project trailer, which is on the east side of 13, kind of behind Knickerbocker, between Knickerbocker and their parking lot and the ramp construction on that side. And the protocols would be, I think, first off, just checking in with Ray, just be like, hey, I'd like to visit the site, just so that the town knows that somebody might be going out there. And then going into the trailer, everybody has to sign waivers to get in, and whatever PPE equipment that you're supposed to have on, hard hats, those kinds of things in the construction zone. The perimeter of the project is supposed to be delineated with orange snow fence to kind of identify where the public and non-public areas are. And that includes on the west side of 13 as well. So if you just kind of want to look in and see what's going on, and you're on the outside of the orange snow fence, that's not a problem. But if you actually want to get into the construction area and just kind of see what's going on, those other protocols are needed. And then there'll be some notifications put up at the Monkey Run end of the project work zone to let visitors know that the trail is closed ahead. So people don't go all the way down there and realize that it's not a through trail anymore. And people have been using it as a through trail from Hallwoods Road to Monkey Run and beyond. And so they're not going to be able to continue to do that during construction. Are there other
That's
things?
good. We won't make you talk anymore. Actually, Dan, you were at the meeting as well. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, what I really liked about this was the attentiveness of DOT. Sometimes it's hard to get their attention, but they were really hands-on in this meeting and engaged in a way that they're not always engaged. Don't get me started on the Freeze Road Bridge, but it is hard to get their attention. And so they seem like they see this as a priority, and that they're going to be, I guess, part of these monthly meetings between now and the completion. I was just talking to Ray Berger about this, and he said, yeah, we're going to have these team meetings, and he's really excited about the tone that was set at that meeting. So
I think there's about a weekly. I think they're twice a month, Dan.
Twice a month.
That's what was suggested initially.
So Dan and Todd, can we start publicizing any of this on the Facebook page?
Well,
Can we publicize that the construction is starting?
Yeah, like give periodic updates on what's happening, and that construction
certainly
will start soon.
as things happen, yes. I mean, we've already promoted the fact that the contract's out and been awarded. But maybe if we start seeing activity there, but we just don't want to attract sightseers to the site.
True.
Because
That's
it's,
for sure.
as I said at the meeting on Friday, it's an attractive nuisance, and people might want to come even more to come see what things look like. And it's a really dangerous place to hang out, at that intersection.
Would it make sense to have detours set up or detour signage to encourage anybody approaching from Hallwoods Road side to navigate up Hall Road to the light?
Well, perhaps they'll certainly have signs
Yeah.
up saying this area is closed.
Yeah.
Whether
we
there's
have
a detour.
Well, Chris, we decided we didn't want to ever detour anybody up to the 13366 intersection. So I don't think we want to do that. You know, what we did, we talked about, you know, trail closed ahead to, from the Monkey Run side. We could potentially do something from the Pinckney side coming to Hall Woods so that people realize it's a one-way trail and they have to go back out. So that would be probably the best approach. I don't expect that we have the same level of traffic coming that way since we haven't publicized that trail.
Yeah.
And it's only, whatever, a half a mile, if that. It doesn't go anywhere, or hasn't yet.
Yeah, they at the meeting, they made quite a point of saying that any publicity that we want to do should be run by their crew. That they don't want misunderstandings. They don't want a lot of information out there that isn't sort of coordinated through the management crew. So I think we can, you know, when things start really happening, we can ask permission, maybe to post some photographs. I think photographs would be the most cogent thing for.
Yeah, and thanks for mentioning that, Alice, because there was some sensitivity again to some of the residents on Homewood Road. And so I think we have to balance our interest in putting this out in the public from what Dan was saying about creating a public nuisance, some of which could affect the project or some of it could affect the neighbors.
Yeah, and one thing that I noted was that the construction company was scheduling from hoping to schedule from 6 to 3, and Ray Berger reiterated a couple of times that we wrote the contract and to stipulate not starting until 7, and so we're trying as hard as we can to be really sensitive to the neighbors on Hallwoods Road there during this construction time. So and I saw some crews out there.
Yeah, they were out today.
Yeah, good.
There's one other thing that was mentioned at this meeting, that they want to coordinate all media inquiries through their regional engineer. So that was kind of encouraging that they have a strategy. If we get questions, that we refer it to a guy named Charlie. Did anyone get his last name?
I think it's on this list that you printed.
Charles Walker.
Charles Walker.
Yeah.
Charles is the inspector for Urban Anthony.
Is that the regional engineer?
No, Charles was the person from. I'm looking at the sign-in sheet from the meeting, so maybe it's a different Charles.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Okay, yeah, let's get that name so that we can, if we would like to do some PR, we can get that cleared. I did not get that name, Dan, but I do have the sign-in sheet
Okay.
that got forwarded to us. So so it's the inspection engineer that we want to ID, not the inspection engineer, the regional engineer.
Regional engineer, what they called an RE.
Is that the DOT person?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
yes, Rose.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that mean like any notification that Diane wants to put up needs to go through there first? Okay. Just to
Yeah,
clarify.
they seem attuned to having good hand in the media that goes out. Good. Anything else besides Yahoo? And at last. Great. Okay, moving on. Some of us have been very involved in putting together a new application for a New York State Department of Transportation Alternatives Program grant. And that got submitted on March 12th. And Fernando de Aragon, who was helping us with budgeting and giving us good advice on the application, noted that when we got the receipt, we were the very first ones. He believes, anyway, we were the first ones to submit an application the morning of the due date. So, but there, I think, is a huge, gigantic pool of applicants, given the materials that were sent out to us. So I can just say that I'm just full of appreciation for all the work, Todd, that you did on putting that together with Fernando and Dan and Ray Berger.
And Ray, yeah.
And Ray Berger did the final heavy lift, which was entering it into the state financial system, FSS, and it is a bear. I heard in a webinar that I attended many complaints about that system, and Ray persevered to get the grant in there. So that's wonderful. And I also want to say a big thank you to Judy for coordinating our letters of support. We had 19 letters of support and 4 municipal resolutions.
Amazing.
They praised us, they really like us.
They really like us, yeah. And I don't know if people had a chance to look through the sample that we put together.
Yeah, thanks for putting that out. That's nice.
It just was making my heart sing to see all the ways in which people were describing the benefits of the trail. And I will note that I sent a note to Josh Riley's office asking for their support. And I think at the last meeting, I mentioned that I got an immediate reply saying that they would like to support us. But it was even better than that. And I'm going to turn it over to Dan to describe why.
Well, they're enthusiastic about us seeking other funding. And so the congressman's office actually texted me saying, we've got our congressionally directed projects annual application cycle open for the next, 4 or 5 days. You guys can get an application in. And that was a little bit of short notice. I think it's done on purpose. The majority in Congress is led by one party and our congressman is of the other party. And so I think they gave deliberate short notice to the other party, meaning, less time for applications to get submitted. So we got that notice, I think on Tuesday, maybe. I got a text from Josh Riley's district director, which is, if you know congressional structure, that's pretty high up in the food chain. And for him to be reaching out to me by text was kind of cool. So I said, yeah, we'll get back to you, not knowing exactly what we'd get. But this team being what it is, immediately went into high gear. And the congressional questionnaires have, 15 or 20 questions, maybe even more, might have been 30. Fortunately, we have Todd Bittner, who is a whiz at going through applications like this, and worked with me every step of the way, provided a lot of text, and with his help, we were able to get this application in by the deadline on Monday. And then all those letters were compiled in a really nice document that I just received confirmation from the congressman's office that they got that too, and they're happy with
All
that.
the same letters.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
so-
Double duty.
Yeah.
It wound up being a hell of an application, I think, looking for up to $1 million for gap funding for this, phase 3.4, or maybe phase 3.5 portion that we've got to fund. And the strategic thing that Ray and Todd came up with is that, some flexibility with how we would spend that $1 million. So we left a little wiggle room with how we would spend it if we get it. So I'm excited. I think it was a smart thing to put together an application for. Crazier things have happened Having been in that world for some 15 years, I know it's pretty random, and if we've got the best project of this type, we'll get the grant. And I've known Josh for a long time. He used to be on our staff when I worked for Congressman Hinchey. He started with us. So, it's always important not to forget where you come from. We'll see. We'll see. We've got to get that application also into the Senate offices, and that's another deadline we've got to work on. But hopefully, since we've got this one done, it'll be easier.
That's great. Thank you so much again for all the work that went into that, getting that out there. And, it was just music to my ears again to hear that the ask could be for as much as $1 million. And I know that you guys had to kind of thread the needle to give us the level of flexibility that we might need, depending on where the gaps are. And I'd love to be copied on the application if it's possible to, I want to make sure I understand what the language was that you used.
Yeah, so Dan and I used a Word document because all of it had to go into their web-based form.
Okay.
And then, so if it's all written in there, then you don't get retain a copy. So it might not be the final, but it's pretty near final that I have in the Word document. And I'll just summarize regarding the flexibility that Dan mentioned. Because the town's share, not the match, but just the town's share for the Route 13 bridge is still pretty significant. We wrote in there that some of the funding from this application would go towards Route 13 bridge funding. So that was kind of that piece. And then the other part was that we didn't know yet the outcome of the TAP grant that we just applied for and whether or not we would get that money. So we wrote the appropriation request in a way that it was like, if we get the TAP money, then we'll use the we'll use the appropriation to what we called was phase 4.
Okay.
It won't be all of phase 4, but we basically said something like it would be towards a prioritized work for phase 4. And in that, we included the bridge repairs in the village of Dryden between Route 13 and Route 38. So in earlier conversations with Rick Young, when we were putting the TAP grant application together, Rick said, hey, there's 2 bridges that need work. One is the one that's west of Springhouse Road. And then the other one is this one in the middle of the village of Dryden. And the town has an agreement with the village that the town will maintain the Dryden Rail Trail within the village bounds, which includes this bridge. So, so that was the scenario if we got the TAP grant, that we would apply these funds towards those prioritized projects within the village and then the phase 4. And then if we didn't get the TAP grant, then we would use the funds towards parts of the TAP grant application, notably the making village of Freeville to village of Dryden ADA accessible. And we wrote it that way because we have all the easements, we know we can do the work, and it was a really straightforward way to package it, and it's a priority project. And so it was simple. And simple in this case was good because it was already complicated, because it was like, if this, then that, application and you. So I think it was, we were able to put it together in a coherent and clear way. So that's the flexibility that we wrote in and why.
Yay. Thank you. And what a task that was. Any questions about where we are with the grant work that has just been described? No, okay. Just more thank yous. Thank you. for that fast one. Great. So let's see, we've got another thing for you to talk about. Do you want a break?
No, I'll wrap up with this
Okay.
one.
The NYSEG Bridge section, and resurfacing project.
Yeah, so, a number of us had a kind of a kickoff meeting with DPW a few weeks ago to talk about how this NYSEG project would work and be executed, and roles and responsibilities, and that was great jumping off point. But there were still a number of things that needed to be figured out, and we couldn't do it until the snow melted. And so last week, we were finally there, and Charlie Troutman and me and Rick Young and Mike Hall, the assistant superintendent for DPW, who walked from 366 to the NYSEG section to evaluate which was the most cost-effective way for us to execute this project. One option being entirely from the Pinckney Road side, which means really expensive equipment to be able to reach both sides to do the grading work and move some of the material and things like that. Or coming in through the 366 side and utilizing the town DPW's easement for utilities, which they have to be able to maintain the entirety of that easement area with equipment in order to do that. And if that was a practical way to get to both sides then of the project area. And so the long story short is that the latter was decided to be the most cost-effective approach. And we worked through schedule and budget and construction scope, which includes replacing 5 culverts.
It's 5, wow.
From that Route 366 side in. And the cost for materials still being less than the rental for the equipment. And then we get the permanent infrastructure improvements with the culverts. And in doing that, there's also some wet spots in that section that require some fill. And so instead of taking the material that was going to be removed to lower the bridge on both sides and spreading it only on the west side, the stuff on the east side will fill some of the wet spots and reduce the amount of area that's disturbed by the wetland and all the other things that were causing us some complexities with DEC and the wetland permitting. And so, just a bunch of great guys putting their heads together, figuring the things out that what makes the most sense in the global scheme of our work. And they started work on it last week, and just earlier today, DPW was excavating parts of the approach from the west side and lowering it and redistributing it. All the silt fences is where it's supposed to be around the perimeter of the wetland, and so as weather permits, they're going to just keep plugging away at this.
That's so cool.
So exciting.
So yeah, it's great collaboration.
To have 2 bridges underway in the same month after all this planning is just extraordinary.
So Todd,
Mm-hmm.
by West Side, do you mean right there by Route 366, that culvert that we've noticed them doing repair on? Because that's not near
Well,
the bridge. That's like,
when I was saying west side, it was west of the NYSEG Bridge or east. But to answer your question, from the NYSEG Bridge to 366, there's 5 culverts that need to be replaced, and they're going to replace all of them.
and so they've started already, right? On that one by Route 366 out by Judy Aubel's house.
If you say so.
Okay, I guess we were noticing there was construction happening there over the past few days.
Okay.
And it just was, it was surprising but pleasing.
Yeah, it's thrilling. It's totally thrilling that that's underway.
Yeah, one other thing that I mentioned is that we were under the impression that Dryden Fiber went underneath every creek crossing along that whole, well, just anywhere that they came up with one. And we found at least one that wasn't the case, Dan, and they tied the Dryden Fiber conduit right to the trestle and didn't go underneath the creek, directional drilling like they had said. So Rick is aware of it. He's going to make sure that it doesn't get boogered up, but I'm not sure where that falls with your Dryden Fiber. I know you guys got different folks involved now, and these kind of things might be part of the reason that you went with somebody else, but that was a surprise to us because it put it in a very vulnerable spot.
Yeah.
Do you know when that work was done?
It had to have been at least 2 years ago because there's a whole lot of brush that's grown up on part of that trail. It hasn't been cleared in a while.
Okay. Yeah, we had different people 2 years ago and different standards.
Yeah.
So is this something that needs to be addressed right away, or you mentioned Rick
No.
knows about?
Well, Rick was with us when we found this, and his crews are aware of it because we're replacing the culvert that's right there. I mean, essentially, these are old box wooden, I'll call them trestles, but they're kind of like box culverts that are made of wood. And they're all going to be replaced with plastic, round corrugated, normal culverts, normal today's standard. But this one, the Dryden Fiber is going to be above the culvert because it's only a couple feet underneath the trail at that point.
Yeah. So it needs to be in some sort of protective casing.
Well, it is in a protective casing, but it's just not best standard practices for how I thought the Dryden Fiber wanted to go below all vulnerable kinds of infrastructure.
No, it doesn't sound that way at all. Sorry, I'm not familiar with where this is, so I'll have to talk to Rick about it.
Yeah.
Todd, you said that's the one culvert that's between the NYSEG washout and where all the scrubby growth is along the trail. It's like, because I mowed all the way from 366 as far as I could to that one trestle that doesn't have boards on it.
Yeah, well, we looked at all 5. I think it's east of that one. It's on the north side. If you just poke your head over any of them, you'll see it's on the north side.
I think I remember seeing it. It was some conduit that was like 4-inch conduit or something.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions about the wonderful progress that's happening on the whole section from the NYSEG, really from Pinckney Road to 366? Okay, let's move forward. So much progress, my head is spinning. Let's go to the Trail Stewards and Volunteers Committee, and I'm going to turn it over to Sue because there's great news on that front as well.
Yeah, so I sent out I didn't. Chris or Diane, when some of you guys sent out invitations for people who are our followers to volunteer to be stewards if you'd like to. And I've got 15 solid responses at this point. We've set up a meeting, we being Alice and I, but if anybody else wants to attend that meeting, we'd love to have anybody else who's interested. But Alice and I will be hosting a meeting here on Tuesday, the 31st of March for the stewards that are available to come. So I've invited them all. A lot of them have already RSVP'd, yes. We got a couple of people who can't be there because of conflicts, but they're still sending me significant emails. A lot of the stewards have different ideas and different projects. And so I already bounced one of those to Todd. There's one who's a wildlife biologist down by Purvis Road who wants to save some of those turtle nests that get eaten up every night right after they're laid. So I'm gonna have her put together a proposal and we might have them work on that. I found out that Tim Labus he can't come on the 31st because he also volunteers for Bike Walk
I
Tompkins.
saw that. Yeah.
So I had a little chat with him about that, about maybe, putting our heads together. I just want to ease anybody's concerns. I want to encourage stewards to do things that are great on the trail, but I will be very protective of the time of everybody who's in this meeting, that you're not going to get a lot of tasks added on. I'm going to encourage stewards to start with number one, just the basic responsibilities of being a steward as we've discussed them, eyes on the trail, go up and down it regularly, pick up small litter, notify us if there's a problem and we need DPW assistance, trees down or erosion or things, or large litter. There's one person who wants to do a big cleanup of the tires that are down by Purvis Road. That's the same woman who's a wildlife biologist who wants to protect the turtles. So I'm going to encourage the stewards to do these things and support them in doing them things, but I'm going to let them know they need to recruit their own helpers, and that the people on the task force, our focus is building the trail, and these other activities are not things that, task force members are welcome to join at any time, and I'll keep you all posted, but I don't want people to think that I'm going to add to your to-do list, because I know everybody's to-do list is full. But I'm very excited. A lot of the stewards who responded said they've already been doing this for quite a while. It's just, unofficially.
Well, now we can recognize them for this.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got strong people the whole length of the trail. We've got Freeville, we've got Pickney Road, we've got down by Purvis Road, we've got Varna. People who have been using the trail and know it inside and out, and want to get involved. So this is wonderful.
That's great.
So Sue,
Hello.
Sue,
Yeah.
I could ask my brother again if he would do the patches. Are we still interested in that?
Yeah, we're interested in the patches. One of the things we're going to do at the meeting is ask the stewards what they want.
Mhm.
Do they want a vest? Do they want a patch? Do they want a sticker? We're going to give them grippers. We talked last month about putting the stickers on the grippers. But
Yeah.
if he can do patches, I'll know after the 31st what they want.
Okay. I'll wait till
Yeah.
then to contact him. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a gripper.
Oh,
A sample today from
Yeah.
Harbor
Yeah.
Freight
right.
to pass out. Yeah, we just put out this notice on the listserv and the town newsletter. And that we've just gotten an incredible response just from those two asks. And I think these are the folks who signed up for our listserv, and we're approaching 400 people on our listserv. It's just very exciting that we have a new way of getting folks who've signed up over the years to be supporters to actually be part. And as Todd said, recognizing the folks who've already been out there doing stuff.
Yes.
And I also think this is a new population for us to invite to be part of activities that we do, like tabling, community information.
Great.
We're going to be recruiting folks to be part of the milk train when it comes down to Berry Days in June.
The
We'll
Gripper
be looking for.
I've already been thinking of some things for the parade.
That's great. We'll use your wonderful.
Susan, you're gonna be involved too.
Cool.
I don't know how we can beat our $100 prize that we got at last
That's
year's.
trying to be inspirational.
I think I can organize to be in Ithaca in June.
Oh,
That'd be great.
That's great. Well, we'll definitely ask the stewards to be part of, you know, any of the public events that we do, and we can talk to them about upcoming things.
Yeah, they should
We have
definitely
a
march in the
gripper
parade.
parade, a gripper parade, you know, instead of.
Parade. That's right.
Pick up trash as we go.
Two things that about that are kind of fun. We got reconnected with an equestrian group that I have a friend in, and they are sending a representative, and it just occurred to Sue that maybe we should invite some horseback riders to be part of
Yes.
our walk in the parade. I mean, that really would.
And some bicyclists. We want to have bicyclists, kids on bicycles, families with bicycles, and horses.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that'd be great.
I think led by the milk train and then all these other trail users group being represented.
Show the evolution of the trail.
Have a parade in the park.
Will make a hit. And also, so at the orientation meeting, we can announce that there's another one of those community connections events sponsored by Rotary and Kiwanis in April 25th. So that'll be an opportunity for more tabling and information and signing up folks for our stewards.
And the location of that is exciting because it's not going to be at the Neptune Fire Hall this time. It's going to be at the new community center.
Oh, nice.
So that's exciting that we get to be a part of one of the first big events there. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking for folks to help us table at that event, both from this group and from the stewards group. So before we move on from this, though, I'd like to see from this group who would like to be, who plans to come to the stewards orientation meeting. That's Chip. Yes, good. I was hoping you would. I'm gonna ask you to do a little piece on mapping for us.
Sure.
So if you could show your beautiful map on the screen, I think that would be just terrific to help people understand the way.
31st.
This is the 31st. We're gonna.
What time?
It's gonna be at 7 p.m. on the 31st. Sorry, I didn't say that before. 7 p.m. on the 31st, and we've reserved the courtroom because I think we have potentially a larger group than will be that comfortable in the Caldwell conference room. So
I think I may be able to come as well. Maybe Diane too. I don't know. Yeah.
that'd be great.
Cool.
Yeah. Driving over here, it just occurred to me that maybe, I hate to ask the DPW guys to do anything more than they already do, but it would be very cool in a certain way for the stewards to meet some representative from DPW. So I'll ask Rick if
That'd be
he or one
great.
of maybe my call would just come briefly to meet the stewards and talk a little bit about the way that they work on the trail. So that
That would be
connection
great.
is there. So anybody
Yeah,
else?
I'm great.
And Rose, okay, so good. If anybody else is free and discovers that they have time to join us, that would just be really terrific. We'll do refreshments, we'll hand out grabbers with stickers on them. And we'll just do a little overall history of the trail, but make plenty of space for those folks who are attending to talk to us about their ideas and answer their questions about their roles. Great. Thank you,
Yes.
Sue. Thank you for following
Thank
up on
you
all
to
of
Diane
this.
and Chris for all of your help.
Yeah, that's right. You
Yeah.
guys set up the mechanism for us to be able to be in communication with folks. Great. Okay, let's go to trail amenities. I propose that increase in the donation request for memorial benches, but with all the grant application stuff, I didn't get a chance to dig back into some of the data that folks asked for last time, how much Road Bush would charge us for new order of benches and so on. So with your permission, I'd like to put that off till April. And do we have anything new on
But
the,
before we move on, so, Judy, where do things stand? With the benches for the Levines?
The Levines are all in Barcelona
they're in Barcelona?
for about, the whole family has gone for the semester. So frankly, I don't know if they got out and, we left it that they were going to get a hold of Rick
Yes.
and decide, lay it out with him so that it was all determined.
Right,
And as far as I know, they haven't done that.
okay, all right,
So-
but it's still, all right,
I'll just, I'll text them in Barcelona and say, as soon as you get back, I'm gonna go out with you in the spring and we'll, get Rick to do this. I guess they're just busy, but that's where it is.
since we are on the topic, those are the only two that are still outstanding. I just thought I'd ask, so
Yep.
thank you, Judy.
Okay.
I feel a little, a little sheepish about it, because it's been so long, but I feel as if it's in their court.
Right,
It has been for a while.
I agree. And Rose, while we're checking in about benches, what's the status of the bench for Road?
Nothing new as far as I know.
It's the site is chosen,
The site is
DPW
chosen.
knows where it is, but they haven't gotten out to install it yet.
Yeah, I went down last week, days, and I actually brought my little clippers. I was gonna trim a little viewing area. And actually the snow and the ice brought a lot of it down that I saw in the fall. So I just did a little bit of clipping, but that's pretty much it.
Okay,
but you were gonna meet with
Chris
with
Clausen,
Chris.
yeah.
Yeah, I have not done that. I will contact him again
Okay.
just to make sure.
Winter has been long. The winter's been very long and
Right,
very
well, that was, there's the two steps. One is finalizing the location and all the details.
Yeah, I kind of already did that with him before, but maybe that was just too long ago to.
Well, now that we're getting back into
Yeah,
the
back
season
into it,
when they
yeah.
could work on
Okay.
it, maybe he needs a little check-in to see if
Yeah.
he may be set to do it, but
Okay.
that would be good to go. And folks, get to me. I need to send to both the Levines and to you the new specs on the new plaque that we found. So I've got a number of
Okay.
words and spaces and
Excellent.
that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
I'll get that to you.
I could ask Nan Brown again, if she wants one for Tom Brown at the already installed bench on Monkey Run.
Oh, okay.
So if you could add me to the plaque list, I'll
Okay.
talk to her about that.
Okay, good.
Last time I talked, she said that a friend was going to do a custom design bridge, but it of course never happened. So I'll ask her again if she wants one of ours.
So it's Tom Brown and you're the contact for
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
Art and Levine's. Okay. Got it. Okay. So I was just about to move on to anything new on mapping trail amenities and cataloging the photos.
No, I've been going through, like, I got the updates from Sue last meeting, and so I've been going through and adding those to my existing files and started renaming, but none of the like public facing what you guys have seen has been updated yet. So I just gotta find the time to do it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good suggestion, Diane, that you sent for a naming convention
Yeah.
that will help us know.
Yeah, that way we can reference the files for other purposes as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
All three of you for your work on that.
Yep.
That's great. All right, any questions about trail amenities? Let's move on to outreach and communication. Anything new on kiosk, Diane or Sue?
No, nothing yet. Although now that there's a bridge going in, my my motivation to move faster has increased. I'm very deadline driven, and so when there's a clear and obvious deadline looming in the distance,
Number 31st.
it's much easier to sort of make plans and schedule things. So
Okay, good, good.
And Diane, I have lost touch with Liz, Yvonne's wife, who lives down by Purvis Road, who had all these different ideas and wanted to be involved with kiosks. For some reason, I've left phone messages and email messages and haven't gotten a response. So I don't know if I've got contact information wrong or what. I'm still working on trying to reconnect with her. Perhaps she's dropped out of interest.
was she the one that was also interested in doing social media too?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
She was very enthusiastic when we met in person, and I haven't heard back from her. So I don't know if it's a technical issue that I've got typos in my information, but I'm just not getting anything back or any confirmation that she's received my messages. But I'll keep trying.
Good, yeah, we could use the help. I think we could use, we'd use that help, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll keep working on it.
I
There's
think
one,
her interest maybe came at a time when at least I just wasn't really ready to make use of it. But I think, we're at a
Right.
point now where we could.
Yeah.
okay, good. Well, all right, well, so now you're feeling like if we find Liz, you have time to meet with her, yes?
Yeah, more so, I guess.
Good. That's great. Yeah, I think we could, I think we could definitely use that help with social media to,
Yeah.
and, yeah, so we'll follow through on that. Good, well, I'm feeling like this is kind of a miracle, but possibly
7:55.
gone through the agenda and it is 7:55.
There's so much good news too.
There's so much work has gone in offline that we're just reporting on the wonderful results so far. Anybody have anything else that they would like to add to the agenda here?
Yeah, just one little quick thing. When I'm talking with the stewards and we meet with them on the 31st, if you have specific volunteer tasks that we need help with, like Diane, I'll mention if anybody's good at social media, we could use some help in that area. If anybody's a secret successful grant writer and they want to get involved with that.
Actually, Sue, even regarding social media, rather than have a bunch of people doing social media, what would almost be more helpful is to encourage people to send pictures and a little caption with them to me. Like if they see something cool on the trail, send it to me with the caption. I found this on the trail in what section? And then I have a constant stream of content that I can be posting. I mean, regrettably, I don't live near the Dryden Rail Trail or any open sections.
Yeah.
And obviously once we get phase 3 done, I'm going to be in a whole different situation there and I'll be able to travel it more often. But, in this interim, it'd be great just to get content from people.
Okay, what would be the best way for them to send that to
you
you?
want me to text those to you or email them to you or?
Well, I would think each person could probably just text or email it to me. I'd rather not have my text blowing up.
Okay.
Chip might have a little bit of content for you, Diane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, just real quick, give me your email again.
I think for this, I should use dlt1etna@gmail.com. Just keep my Cornell one less clogged.
Okay, I'll do that. DLT1etna@gmail.com. I'll let them know on the 31st.
Yeah, well, I'll try to be there too.
Great, that's even better.
Yay. Okay,
Cool, thanks.
great. So our next meeting is Monday, April 20th here in the Caldwell Conference Room. That meeting will be the official 10-year anniversary of our first official meeting. There's a meeting in March of 2016 that some of us attended. sort of feeling out the interest in forming the task force. And then the town board approved it, and our first official meeting was in April of 2016.
I will be in Ithaca on that day.
You will?
Yep.
Great. Yes. Yeah. So let's see. Susan, you joined us after that
Yeah,
time.
after.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a latecomer.
I remember Dan, Chris, Todd, Bob, Judy, and I think were all present at that first lesson. It's pretty amazing that we've been working together for 10 years, some of us on this, and have had so many.
All the different stages, having to solicit people's interest and go to their doors and tell them what we were doing and get the first easements.
I was actually part of a meeting, some meetings that happened before this group. I can't remember the actual exact dates, but Bob was involved, and we went to talk to
William George Agency.
William George. Yeah, we went to
Yes.
yeah, I remember that meeting. We went to talk to them, and they were very opposed, and they weren't interested, and they didn't sound like they'd ever be interested. So
And now look, now they're so supportive.
now they're so supportive. Yeah.
That's
So not to ask people to do a bunch of extra work, but that seems like it would be a great social media post to just highlight some of the accomplishments over the 10 years, listing the number of easements, the amount of grants, the number of miles of trails, the number of stewards that we just signed up, and listing off public support and all, just whatever other kinds of, really high level.
Yeah.
A lot of that's in the video.
Events.
A lot of that information is in the video. That's at least the more recent parts of it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah. The game trail,
Yeah,
the
good.
game farm road video.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That video ended up being really valuable to us. I don't know if I mentioned to you that we were able to get it set up to play at the last Community Connections event. We had a big
yeah,
screen that happened to be right behind us, and the organizers set us up. So our table was backed by that video playing the
that
whole
was
time.
great.
It was
That's
just,
great.
it got lots of comments from folks.
Yeah, Hampshire was very accommodating to us with that. They really
Yeah.
went out of their way to help us do
They
that
made
last
that-
minute. Yeah.
Yeah, we hadn't planned on, I planned on just showing it on a small laptop, but we had a big video display for it. So it's still out there and being used, but
Great.
I like that idea of creating an announcement that just sort of traces the 10-year history with how far we've come, number of miles, number of easements. What you said something else too.
Yeah,
the steward
Number of grants.
The
grants.
amount of grant funds, the number of stewards that we just signed up, and then it can be like, and this year.
And this year we'll be building 2 bridges.
Hundreds of hours of DPW work.
Yes, yeah. Hours of DPW work is also something to be
Huge.
really proud of.
You could do something like a Harper's List, with the number, colon, and then what it is going from.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a text.
42 of 48.
Yeah.
Number of easements that
Right.
have been already.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that way of doing those lists.
And then number of people have been 5, number of people who have been involved since the beginning thing, or something like that.
I like that. That's great. I remember at that first meeting, Chris, you said, I might have said this another time. Chris, you said, I think we can get my wife involved in doing some of the graphics. And I thought,
Yeah. I remember coming back and mentioning that to Diane. I was like, I might have roped you into something.
that was great.
You could also put put in this document the number of people on the listserv.
Yeah.
Yeah, listserv,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the number of views of the Facebook page.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Facebook members. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number of volunteer hours.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a hard one to calculate.
Yeah, only if we have the metrics can we put these things.
Yeah, I think we could just put the infinity sign.
Yes.
Number of hours. Countless. Priceless.
Priceless.
Yeah,
Priceless,
that'll be the
priceless,
one.
for sure.
Great. Okay, well, of course, we love working together and we could chat forever, but let's take advantage of the fact that we got through our whole agenda in record time tonight, and we'll let everybody say goodnight to each other. I'll just confirm again that our next meeting is at 7 p.m. April 20th. Great. I like those congratulations and party signs going up on your screen there, Dan.
Great meeting. Good night, everyone.
Take care. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
We go 7:55 is our original time, but
Well, it's 8:04. Good, okay. I believe for everybody.
It's a record either way.